Good evening, Toastmasters and ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to the grand finale of Best Speaker 2022. Let's take a minute to recognize our Chief Judge, Toastmaster Nisheda Indiratna. First, we will be commencing with the prepared speech contest of the grand finale. Let us go over the rules for the prepared speech contest for the benefit of all present. All contestants have been briefed on the rules of the contest and have confirmed that they are eligible to be a contestant in this contest. Other than the contestants, it is recommended that no one will be allowed in or out of the room once the contest has begun until the last speaker has spoken. If you want to leave the room, please do so during the minute of silence between speakers. All speeches should be delivered in English. Any quote or phrase expressed in a different language should be translated back to English. Use of profane language may result in a disqualification or a deduction of points. The time of all the speeches is to be 5 to 7 minutes. Timers, please demonstrate the signals as I read out the timing signal right now. Green card at 5 minutes. Yellow card at 6 minutes. And red card at 7 minutes and shall remain displayed until the speaker completes his or her speech. No signal will be given if the speaker exceeds the time limit. There will be 1 minute of silence between the speakers so the judges may complete their ballot sheets, and 2 minutes after the last contestant has spoken. At the end of the contest, the audience is requested to remain silent and seated until the tally counters have collected the judges' ballot sheets. Protests may entered only by the contestants or judges to either the Chief Judge, Toastmaster Nisheda Indiratna, or the contest chair, Saritsa Karunatni, before the contest is adjourned. Announcement of the contest winners is final unless the list of winners is announced incorrectly, in which case the Chief Judge, ballot counters or timers are permitted to immediately interrupt to correct the error. The order of the contestants was randomly selected by drawing lots before the start of this meeting and is as follows. I request everyone to hold your applause until all the contestants' names are read out. Contestant number 1, Diluni De Silva. Contestant number 2, Udara Veerasinghe. Contestant number 3, Amirtha Varshini Ananthan. Contestant number 4, Devmi Disanayaka. Contestant number 5, Nilaya Dakshi Priyadakshan. Contestant number 6, Kavindu Varisinghe. Chief Sergeant at Arms, are the doors secure? Timers, are you ready? Chief Judge, can you please confirm that all the judges have been briefed and are in the hall and we can begin the contest?
Yes, Contest Master, all the judges have been briefed. They are in the hall and you may proceed.
Thank you so much. Dear audience, please check again if your mobiles and other devices are on silent mode or switched off. We will now begin the prepared speech contest of the semi-finals of Best Speaker 2022. Now let me introduce the first contestant of the day. Contestant, are you ready? Yes. Thank you. Contestant number 1, Diluni De Silva. To begin something, you need to start somewhere. To begin something, you need to start somewhere. Delaney De Silva.
Have you ever struggled of starting something? Well, I have until this happened to me. About 8 months ago, after my A-levels, while I was chilling on my bed playing with the phone, I got a call from my most favorite singer. But guess what? What he said was not what I expected. Nanga, there's an ongoing open source research project. Would you come to it? It's about bioinformatics. Wow! Bioinformatics? The name itself got me hooked. Madam Contest Chair, ladies and gentlemen. Without any second thought, I accepted the invitation. But not because I knew a single thing about it, just because the name sounded fascinating to me. I was so excited until, but 90% of it's about IT. So you need to learn a programming language like Python. Wait, Python? Are you trying to say that I need to learn IT? IT, those 2 letters. Cut my legs trembling, my face started to sweat, my lips became dry, and I felt like thousands of butterflies were roaming inside my stomach. And with a timid voice I asked, Aya, is this on weekdays or weekends? He said weekdays. That was the green light for my justification, and I ended up the conversation thanking him and saying sorry. I'm occupied on weekdays. But before hanging up, he told me something. What was it? To begin something, you need to start somewhere. That didn't make sense to me at all, and in no time I fell back into my old habit of playing with the phone. But once I stepped into the university, I realized that there's nothing that could be done without IT. Even if it's a programming language or open source research project or even a simple presentation requires the knowledge of IT. I was so pissed off. Will you guys trust me that I was gonna quit on my university life just because of IT? Yes. But then someone's voice started echoing inside my ears. To begin something, you need to start somewhere. Whose voice? That generous brother's voice whose invitation I had so foolishly spurned. But this time, I did not give up. I persisted. So ladies and gentlemen, we all have big dreams, big goals in our life. But just by looking at the scope of the task, we often feel paralyzed. We feel, oh, where do I even begin this? Right? But trust me, if this single timid Dilmi was brave enough to step out of the comfort zone and dare to try, why can't you all embrace such courage? I'm sure you all can. Well, everything was quite smooth since then, and we were almost in the second month of our university life. And one day at about 9:30 p.m., I would rather call it a terrible day, we had got messages to our WhatsApp saying that tomorrow there will be volleyball selections and participation of all students is mandatory. Wait, how do you expect me to go and play volleyball when I'm like a bag of cement, can't even walk a few miles without my tongue starting popping out? But college friends. The whistle honked, getting lines start to crouch, boomed our coach. And at that moment, so many things were going on in my mind. What if I trip and fall and boys start to laugh? What if my white skin become tan like my roommates? What if my big stomach starts to move to and fro? What if... But then I thought, what if I had to return home like a loser? To begin something, you need to start somewhere. I did not care about the boys, nor did I care about my skin. I bravely took the ball, hit the ball over the net, and got through the volleyball selections as well. And guess what? Today, I am the captain of our faculty volleyball team. So, the bitter truth of life is that every journey, no matter how grand it is, it all starts with a single step. Every masterpiece, innovation, legend, their all stories all begin with a single, courageous start. Okay? So, don't get paralyzed by the fear of starting it. Just take your first step and watch where it leads. Over to you, Baptiste.
Let us now give 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballot sheets. Timer, please indicate when 1 minute has elapsed. Contestant number 2, Udara Veerasinghe. Let your bruises shine. Let your bruises shine, Udara Veerasinghe.
Different. You're special. Let your bruises shine. Then life will show you how beautiful it is. Madam Contestant, ladies and gentlemen, anyone here thought that it was me? No, not me. But I also had one point in my life that I wanted to get rid of everything, as Nick Vujicic back then when he was a child, armless, legless, and he couldn't accept himself. It was 2011. I got through with my grade 5 scholarship exam with flying colors, but I was lying on a bed in the hospital for 2 consecutive weeks. My entire body was covered with black color large patches, and they were coming out a yellow color fluid, stinky, unpleasant, ugly. After 2 weeks, I went home. My father had the best best news in my life for those 2 weeks. Putha, you got selected to your dream school. Oh my God, is that so? I ran to my room and there was one person waiting for me in my room. That was me in the mirror. You fool! Are you going to go to mixed school with these legs? With these old bones? Boys will bully you. I was disheartened. Yet, I enrolled in a girls' school thinking that girls would accept me and they would understand me. You know what happened? I went to the school with a whole heart smile and with full of hopes. And you know what girls did? They looked at my legs. They made faces. I was so embarrassed and I ran home. I ran to my room. And that girl, she was there, right in front of the mirror. You fool! Why don't you pull up your socks? Excuse me, Miss Sudhara. I'm a studious person. Why are you asking me to pull up my socks? Idiot! Pull up your socks. I pull up my socks. I was so confident. No one would see my wounds ever again. I went back to school next day with that wholehearted smile and big hopes. And next day, you know what girls did? They looked at my socks. This time, they laughed at me. She's pulling up her socks. I ran home. I ran to my father. Father, I can't do this. I want to cut these legs off. I don't want to go to school anymore. I don't want. He was so calm, as always, and he hugged me tightly. Putha, don't worry. Let your bruises shine. They will take you higher and higher. Me, the little one, didn't get a single word he said. I ran to my room and that girl, she was there. Okay, fine. Everything went in vain. This time, let's do something else. Let's disguise ourselves as a boy. So you can wear pants, you can wear t-shirts, no one would look at your wounds. I thought, okay, fine. Finally, I have the solution. I avoided all my girly girl clothes. I went on in pants and t-shirts and I got a call from my class teacher. Putha, we got an amazing opportunity. You have to announce on a TV channel. Ma'am, but what's the dress code, ma'am? Dress code? Of course, the tight skirt, the blouse and the blazer. Why? No, ma'am. I can't do. I had to tell her everything. How am I supposed to go in front of a TV channel with these legs on? And then I have said myself that I go and disguise myself as a boy to hide my bruises. From that opportunity onwards, I missed so many opportunities. Dancing, music, singing, everything where I had to be like a girl. Because I was like a boy as I had to hide my bruises. Until 2014, I had to substitute one of my senior debating members in University of Peradeniya. I finished my speech, we lost the competition. One panelist. I was, oh my God, even at the university? Why? Because whenever I went out, persons asked about my legs, my name, where am I from? So I thought, even this time, it's going to be legs. But you know what he asked? Putha, do you like to be a lawyer? Lawyer? So what's the dress code? It's a sari. No. Why? I disguised myself as a boy. But he told me, Putha, let your bruises shine. That's who you are. That's where you are. your socks. I roll down my socks. Ladies and gentlemen, do you think 3 years was a so long time for me to roll down my socks? Look at yourselves. How many of you are here pulling up your socks to hide your physical bruises, mental bruises, social bruises? Never let your bruises hide yourselves. Never let your bruises unhurt yourselves. Let your bruises shine. Over to you, Fortress Master, so you can let your bruises shine and you can let others to let their bruises shine on this stage. Thank you.
Let us now give 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their balance sheets. Timer, please indicate when 1 minute has elapsed. Sergeant at Arms, are the doors secured? Timers, are you ready? Contestant, are you ready? Contestant number 3.
1 second. Can you check the mic, please?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Contestant number 3. Amirthavarshini Ananthan. Will it be a sixer? Will it be a sixer? Amirthavarshini Ananthan.
Six regrets from the last ball. Amiyam strike the ball. 60 ball is in the air. It goes higher and higher. Will it be a sixer? Madam Contest Chair, ladies and gentlemen, the commentator's voice echoed in my head as I saw my bat. What do you think? Will it be a sixer? Most of you would have grown up hearing fairy tales as bedtime stories. But in my house, my dad's bedtime stories were all about cricket. Last ball thrillers, final sixers, and unbelievable comebacks. While most of the kids my age were watching cartoons, I would sit down next to my dad, watch cricket, and cheer for it. Growing up, watching Master Buster Sanat Jayasuriya smashing sixes all over the ground, my passion for cricket grew so much so that I wanted to hit a sixer at least once in my lifetime. So, I started playing cricket with my neighborhood kids. But there was one small problem. The bat was so big and heavy. The first time I tried to lift it, I almost knocked myself over. Little by little, I was able to hit the ball. Sometimes it would even go near to the boundary line. I could never hit a sixer. But that didn't stop me from trying. With my okay betting skills and immense knowledge in cricket, I was able to enter my first ever friendly tournament. I walked onto the pitch feeling like a warrior in a battlefield, wielding my bat. The bowler started running towards me. My heart started beating loudly. My palms were getting sweaty. I gripped my bat tight and swung it with all my might. Will it be a sixer? The bat did hit. Not the ball, but the wicket. It was a hit wicket. I got out in the first ball itself in the worst possible way. The embarrassment. I wish the pitch would open up and swallow me inside. Even after that day, my neighborhood kids would invite me to play cricket. Have you ever wanted to do something so bad, but you're afraid of failing? That's exactly how I felt. Whenever I took my bat out, I would remember the hit wicket incident and I would excuse myself from playing. Years passed with me never touching a bat again until I entered university. As every other typical Sri Lankan university student, my friends go to hang out was playing cricket after lectures, and I would mostly accompany them. They noticed that I love cricket so much, and one day they came to me and asked, "Ami, why don't you come and play with us?" I can't. Even before I could reject, the bat was pushed into my hand and I was dragged to play. My heart started beating loudly. My palms were getting sweaty as the memory of the hit wicket flashed through my mind. And through the haze, I saw the ball flying towards me and I swung my bat. I did not hit the ball. But most importantly, I did not hit the wicket. I was over the moon. The second ball came. I couldn't even see it. The third ball, the fourth ball, I missed them all. I thought of giving up again, but my friend's words kept me going. You, Ami, wait for the ball. Ami, don't be in a hurry to hit it. Just be patient. And just like that, I started playing cricket again. Little by little, I started improving. And little by little, my long forgotten dream of hitting a sixer came back to life. Meanwhile, my friends signed me up for the interfaculty cricket tournament. And once again, I found myself stepping into a tournament field. And six wicket from the last ball. Amiyan strike the ball, swings the ball into the air. It goes higher and higher. Will it be a sixer? Oh no, that's a fair fielder in the boundary line and it's a catch. Yes, I was moments away from realizing my dream. But unfortunately, it was a catch. Still, I was happy because just a few years back, I ended up hitting my own wicket. But now, when I hit the ball, it is flying high near to the boundary line. And one day, it will be a sixer. Ladies and gentlemen, don't we all have our own sixers to hit? Acing our exams, landing your dream job, or simply asking your crush out. But along the way, we might hit our own wicket, miss countless balls, or even give up. But when life gives you another chance, don't hold back. Take your bat out, even if you couldn't hit your sixer yet, be ready to smash your sixer. Wait a minute, the match is not over yet. The umpire reviewed and it's a no ball. A free hit to follow. Ami is back on strike. 5 required of the last ball to win. Will it be a sixer?
Let us now give 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their balance sheets. Timer, please indicate when 1 minute has elapsed. Contestant, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Contestant number 4, Devmi Disanayaka. A wilted flower waiting to bloom. A wilted flower waiting to bloom. Devmi Disanayaka.
A wilted flower waiting to bloom. This is me when I first came to the university. Dear contest master, ladies and gentlemen, let me take you back to my first day at the university. Sitting in a corner, having nobody to talk and wondering how could I make it in this big university. After a couple of failed attempts to make friends, I was hopeless. But one lucky day, when I was sitting alone in the cafeteria, I saw a boy walking towards me. Tall, chocolate brown, a confident look, and a warm smile. Just my type. And then he approached me and said, "Hi, I'm Abhishek. You can call me Abhi. I'm having lunch alone. Let me join you." Now, girls, be honest. If a guy you've never seen before suddenly asks you for lunch, what would you do? Would you say yes or just run? For me, I've been so lonely that even a random lunch invitation from a stranger felt like a lifeline. Of course, I'd love to. And then I opened my lunchbox to taste my first ever self-cooked meal with the first ever handsome guy I've ever met. And then there was my rice, clumped together. And there was the omelette, crisp to a dark brown. I was ashamed of my very first self-cooked meal. Overcooked, actually. But then he said, "Don't worry, girl, let's share my lunch." On that day, I felt like he was a small drop of water to this wilted flower. After a few days, we got to know that the university has organized a talent show. And Abhi came running to me with a leaflet, and he said that there was one more spot left for a drama. And then He wanted me to apply. But I told him, Abhi, acting is not just my thing. But then he said, tell me, you walk like a movie star, you talk like poetry, and even when you turn, it's like you're meant to be on stage. Let's start tomorrow. The very next day, he came up with a script for a monologue. And how could I say no to him? So we started practicing. Abhi by my side, giving me directions to make me the best actress, and I was busy looking at his eyes, lost in a fantasy, until he asked me, tell me, what's the next line? However, after tireless practice, we came up with the perfect drama. And on the day of the event, when the announcer called my name, I stepped onto the stage with full of confidence. My voice was steady and the lines were flowing just as I rehearsed. But somewhere in the middle of the act, I lost my balance. I stumbled and fell hard onto the stage floor. I heard a scattered laughter through the audience. And in that moment, I felt like everything I worked hard for was fading away. But then from the side curtains, I heard a familiar voice. Get up, Peony, you can nail it! Guess who? Yes, that was Abhi cheering me up like still I was the star of the show. His voice had a magical power in it. And with every bit of energy left in me, I got up and finished my drama. I was not named the best performer that night, but I could finish what I started thanks to Abhi. And then he came to me and hugged me tightly and said, tell me, you're already a winner. On that day too, I felt like he was a small drop of water to this wilted flower. In my life, when I was alone and when the life knocked me down, I had Abhi by my side. It takes only one kind word, one small action to change someone's entire world. Today, I'm a blooming flower with a lot of dreams, dancing, acting, debating. And as a social worker, I help many more wilted flowers, just like Abhi helped me to bloom. So, my dear blooming flowers, now it's your turn to be a drop of water. Because the wilted flowers are waiting to bloom. Over to you.
Let us now give a 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballot sheets. Timer, please indicate when 1 minute has elapsed. Contestant, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Contestant number 5. Nilayadakshi Priyadakshan. Let's wait. Let's wait. Nilayadakshi Priyadakshan.
I was 4, wearing a beautiful long frock. I didn't want it to touch the ground, so I did what any fashion-conscious toddler would do. I asked my dad to carry me. But he said, "It's lunchtime now, go to your mom." But I didn't want to. I want to play with you, Dad. No worries, I'll wait here. Just go in and come back. Trusting his promise, I left. But when I returned, my father wasn't there. Ha, he'll come back. Let's wait. Just like the contest master eagerly waiting to sit down, I waited and I waited. 5 years later, I realized there was no point in waiting. My parents got divorced and he would never ever come back. Dear contest master, ladies and men. Just like that, my father's absence was filled with an unspoken thought. Boys are not to be trusted. So I always avoided boys because they all reminded me of my father. But the irony of my life is, I chose engineering, a field filled with lots and lots of boys. On my first day at university, my seniors invited me to a meetup. I was excited until I got to know I'd be the only girl with a group of 5 boys. To be honest, I didn't want to go. Standing in front of the canteen, I was debating with myself whether I should go in or just leave. But our seniors are very strict. So I had no choice. I reluctantly stepped inside. The boys were already there, waiting. They didn't look anything like university students. One, a nightclub bouncer. The other, a kindergarten kid. And finally, we had an Albert Einstein too. And my first thought was, am I really going to study with these people? Again, I had no choice. So I had sat down in the chair in a corner, hiding myself behind a huge table. But as we started talking, they weren't as bad as I imagined. In fact, they were nice. Who knew Einstein and the bouncer could be nice too? After that day, the boys started hanging out more often. But I didn't. I felt hesitant to get close to them. But my mom said, "Darling, they are your batchmates. You can't avoid them forever." Yeah, that's true. So I decided to join them next time. For the next hangout, as I was leaving, my mom reminded me the golden rule. Remember, you should come home before 9 p.m. Yes, 9 p.m. That's it. No negotiations, no exceptions. With that in mind, I went to the restaurant. There we ordered starters, appetizers, main meal, beverages, desserts and whatnot. The bill was 25,499 rupees only. We started searching our bags, wallets, pockets. We emptied everything, even checking for forgotten 20s and 50s, and finally paid the bill. But guess what? The time is 8:40 p.m. The golden rule. 9 p.m. With just 20 minutes left and no money for any transport, We had no choice but to walk. Action. Run. Imagine 6 engineering students sprinting down Road like it was the Olympics. 3, 2, 1, and sharp time. I reached my apartment. Before I could finish my race, the hurdles began. The stupid elevator was broken again. I barely climbed the stairs, and there, my mom greeted me with, "You were 2 minutes late." Really? With no energy left, I collapsed into the bed. My phone buzzed. It was my friend's. "Hey, did you reach home?" "Of course, guys, you just dropped me off at my apartment. I am home." "Oh, okay. No, you took the staircase, so we waited outside until you got home safe." Waited? I was stunned. They actually waited on the road just to ensure I was safely inside my house. Even my father didn't wait for me. He promised, but he didn't. These boys, they are different. Ladies and gentlemen, haven't we all done something similar? One wrong online delivery and we assume the whole online shopping is bad. One rude cashier and we think the whole customer service is terrible. Like this, we label a whole community, religion or gender based on the actions of one person, but let's wait. Let's take a step back and see the bigger picture. We can see kindness and understanding everywhere. We are willing to give them a chance. That day, I gave my friends that chance. They waited for me, for my stories, for my laughter, for my friendship, and that made all the difference. Let's wait.
Let us now give a 1 minute of silence with the judges to mark their ballot sheets. Timer, please indicate when 1 minute has elapsed. Contestant, are you ready?
Yes.
Contestant number 6, Kavibu Ali Singha, the label maker, Kavibu Ali Singha.
What I have in my hand is a piece of paper. Now I want all of you to give your 100% attention to this paper. Are you ready? Now everyone count down with me, okay? 3, 2, 1. No reaction? No reaction at all? Let's try this again, shall we? So, what I have in my hand is a piece of paper. Now I want all of you to give your 100% attention to this paper. Now everyone, I really need to count down. Okay? Let's shout out loud and say 3, 2, just the reaction I was expecting. When a contest master, a mighty fellow, Gavious. What I just demonstrated right now was one of the uses of this object that's called the label maker, which is inside our head. What we just did was, we took it out, loaded it, and boom, this was just an ordinary paper, and this was a 5,000 rupee note. We use this label maker to do two toxic things. Number one, we use this to label ourselves. And number two, we use this to label others. Back in 2016, me and my family, we went to Australia to visit my uncle. And we were there in Australia for 6 long weeks. And within those 6 long weeks, took it out, loaded it, and boom, got myself a brand new label. Australian. Oh, I might. Every single bit of me changed. The way I talk, the way I walk, every single bit of me. My ego started to rise sky high. Even after returning back to Sri Lanka, I'm still an Australian. I walk out the Sri Lankan airport complaining about hot weather. This bloody weather, oh my God. Even in a Sri Lankan toilet, when there's a perfectly fine bidet shower right next to me, I would still search for toilet paper. One day, I went to a restaurant to get a bowl of water. There was a nice looking lady in it. I went to her and asked, "Oi, can I get a bowl of water, please?" She looked at me and said, "Batura bodalak, ne?" Translation, water bottle, yeah? The sky-high ego hit rock bottom within a second. Friends, we use this label maker to label ourselves to the point that where we can't even see our true self. Our ego changes. Fast forward to 2023. I was walking into my university as a freshman. When I walked in, I carried two things with me: dreams and fear. Not the fear of exams or grades, but the fear of seniors, the so-called braggers. There was one person in particular, tall, skinny, wear saggy clothes, ripped jeans, wore slippers, and had a long beard and a long hair. I took it out, loaded it, and boom, the bragger. This person, 4 p.m. sharp, he would sit on the corridor railing, back straight, eyes down, quiet. Now that corridor is the corridor where all of us juniors would walk through after our lectures. We would see him every single day. There he is, watching at us, silent. It creeped us out. Whispers start to occur. Is he here to wreck us? Is he a wrecker? My dear friends, I had to take charge. I stepped in, called the authorities, and said, "This person is not up to any good." So they took him in, questioned, and guess what? He never appeared. Boy, did I feel like a hero. Few days later, I was scrolling through Facebook, and I stumbled upon this picture where it seems to be like two best friends. A familiar face in a familiar place. It looked like they were having the time of their life. And the caption said, with a white heart in it, "It has been a year, my friend." Friends, I just realized that I broke a heart that was already hurting. Friends, we use this label maker too much to the point where we label ourselves, where we label others, to the point where we can't see the true self within. Our ego changes. My dear friends, we may be a blank piece of paper, or we may be something like this with so many labels around us. But at the end of the day, we are all still human beings. So my dear friends, next time, before you use the toxic label maker, before you take it out, load it, and just keep it yourself.
Could we now please have 2 minutes of silence until the judges have completed their ballot sheets? Thank you, everyone. This marks the end of the prepared speech contest. We will now take a short break before proceeding to the impromptu speech contest. Please enjoy the refreshments arranged outside and kindly make sure to be here within 20 minutes. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, I think so.